Hello, welcome to Live in the Studio with the Gentle Roller, episode 2. Today I'm going to be showing you how to work a vest using 2 drive rollers. I'm going to lay up a front and a back and then utilise 2 drive rollers so that I can roll both sides at the same time. So unluckily for me, I'm not going to get a chance to read during this project. I'm lucky enough to have 2 super soft drive rollers because Philip produces them. So I don't expect most of you to have 2 super soft drive rollers. So I'm going to show you how to turn your hard drive roller into a super soft by wrapping bubble wrap around it. Okay, Philip tells me that what I've just done is a helix tie. It's pretty nifty and it will stop the bubble wrap from moving around. Philip's pointed out how I've done it wrong one end and right the other end because he intervened halfway through and showed me how to do it properly. But anyway, I'm going to push on with this. Half right, half wrong, meant to do a super soft drive roller. Okay, for this project I'm doing a simple Nuno felted vest or tunic. I'm not sure at this stage whether I'm going to have a full one-piece front or whether I might decide to cut it down the centre after I pre-felt. So I'm starting off with the one piece. I don't use a template when I'm making a garment. What I tend to do is, my pieces are fairly square. I start off, I just fold it over, get a centre point, and I cut out a neck hole, a neck hole and an armhole. And I've done that with both sides, making the front a bit deeper than the back. I've actually used the whole width of the sari, cutting off the selvages. So the whole width of the sari has become the length of my vest. If this doesn't felt quickly, I'll be very surprised. This fabric is very soft and there are areas in it where it's sort of thinner and the fibres and the threads seem to have pulled, so it's just a band of a different colour. So it might be a nice nuance when it's felted, or it may not show up at all. So it's very thin. Perfect for felting. Anyway, so I'll be using Sari, some superfine merino, and some silk hankies. I like using silk hankies because you can shape them. You can use them really fine and thin. I find that they add wonderful texture and they felt really nice, really beautifully. So simple materials, very straightforward vest. I'm going to be using some new plastic to sandwich my materials in today, mainly because I tend to reuse my plastic and I didn't want to cut down my bigger pieces. So as I'll be working with small pieces today. So, and this is just cheap painter's drop sheet. It's not the cheapest because the cheapest tends to be like glad wrap, and after one use you have to throw it out. And I don't like to waste the plastic too much. It's got a bit of crunchiness to it. I expect it to last for several projects. Okay, that big rope was about 100 grams, so I've just split it in half. So it's manageable when I'm laying up. And then I'm going to take one piece of rope, I'm going to split it, and I'll split it again. I might even split it again. When I work, start off working in the middle sections, and that's what I'm going to do. So, I'm just pulling one layer in multi directions. Always go back. So it's very fast, one layer. I finished the merino layer, and I'm going to stabilize the fibre. So I'm just going to wet it down so that I can start playing with my silk hankies. The hankies are a little bit fiddly, and they can sort of stick to your fingers and stick everywhere, and so I don't want to disturb the surface while I'm playing. So that's why I'm washing down. Just a few words before I start to roll. I'll be using the Super Soft for the front piece of the vest and the Make Do for the back. And I'll be swapping one over between them as I roll. I'll be taking up the piece from all sides because it's wide enough to fit on the roller without a false end. So I'll do 1,000 on each, and then I'll get back to you. So see how far we've come along. Okay, I've done 1,000 rolls, and I've soaked this one, and it's starting on another cycle of 1,000. I'll just show you where I'm at with this one. I don't expect that a great deal has happened at this stage. Okay, so I'm just going to introduce a bit more water and a bit more soap. So I'm just going to put some more soap on. You don't want to press down too much, just a light pressure, because everything's still soft. I'm going to put extra soap where the silk hanky is extra thick there. So I'm just going to continue in this way, doing the whole surface. Okay, the cycle's finished. I could turn on again for another 250, but I prefer to be consistent in how I take it up on the drive roller, so an even amount of rolling. You might choose to be different and just let it roll. It's a small piece, so if you're doing more rolls, it really doesn't matter. Whereas if you've got a longer piece that you're working, and you need to do those false ends so that your rolling's more even. Anyway, so I'll push on. I'm just pushing against the centre of the flower here. So after 2,000, it's hanging on quite well. It's still a bit soft on the top. The soap will fix that. And also, you need to consider too that I'm rolling with the embellishment on the inside so that they don't shift. So it's not getting...
It's actually very good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sticking very well. I've done 3,000 rolls on each side, and I'm going to stop now, dry it off with some towels, and then take it inside and put it in my drying closet overnight so that I can do the seams tomorrow. I really can't tell the difference between the two in terms of whether one's better than the other. It's kind of hard to judge because I actually put more silk hankies on the front piece, and the ones on the back were a little bit more flimsy, so I mean they're both about at the same. You still want to be a bit gentle with it, but you can just roll it up in a towel. Just to get most of the moisture out, so that you can pick it up. Okay, you can notice here that the colours have really popped once the moisture has gone from the surface. You might run your fingers through and find that it's a little bit loose, but it's pretty together. Here's the piece that pre-felled. I've sewn the seams at shoulders and the sides. Now they're ready to be felted over and then I'll start the fulling. Hi, welcome back. I just want to show you the vest before I start to felt the seams over. So I've sewed the front to the back and I've made the seams on the wool side. Okay, you don't want to make your seams too wide, but at the same time you want to make sure that you catch the fabric in your seam. I've also trimmed down the wool, the excess wool on the edges. So I'm going to cover these seams over with wool. I've got a little bit left over, and then felt them down just to get the seams a little bit more embedded before I start to full. Just a couple of tools. I use a back scratcher, and I've got this little hand tool that I purchased in the States ages ago. What I've also done is I've just put a little bit of bubble wrap as support. So I'm just going to get a little bit of wool and cover that seam. Hi, welcome back. Okay, I'm ready to roll again. I've put plastic in between the two sides so that they start to stick together as I do more rolling and fulling. I'm not going to do a great deal of rolling. I'm going to do 2 sets of 250 on the front side and 2 sets of 250 on the back side. It's mainly so these seams can become more embedded within the overall garment. And then I'm going to put it into the fulling drum and start to full it. I'll be wetting down, not with warm, I'll be wetting down with room temperature water and increase the temperature of it as I start to shrink the garment. I'll get back to you after I finish fulling. Okay, I finished fulling. I haven't rinsed it out yet, so by the time I've rinsed it out a few times, I'll lose a little bit more on the width and the length. Once it's dry, I'll come back and wear it for you. Hello everyone, here's the finished vest. It's a 2-in-1 decorative merino layer. With quite plain sari layer. I tend to always prefer the sari side to the merino side. So depending on your mood, you could wear it plainly or decoratively. The finished size ended up 54 in the chest and about 65 in the length from the shoulder. So it's well over 40% shrinkage from what I started with. And that's about it. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Hopefully there'll be an episode 3.